Hi, this is Johnny Charisma, and I'm the director and the editor of this movie, Hippies Save the Trees, which was made by my class, and they've done an excellent job. Virtually everything you see on the screen is directly the result of their work. For example, most of the camera work, this model, which you see here, and even the large vehicle that you see the hippie family driving in was brought in by one of the students. And this is easily the most special effects laden movie I've ever done, and I've done a few now. Even Macbeth, which was 100 minutes long, had nowhere near as many special effects, and I'm really very pleased with some of them, like this one of one of the characters rolling down a window. Of course, she's not rolling down a window. That's entirely a special effects shot done on Final Cut Pro with the model. The model trees there were ceramic ones made by the class, and the little slugs in that version are beanbag beans that are just pinned together and coloured with highlighter. Some special effects in this are a bit more sophisticated, as you're about to see. And this one of the electrical charge is a special effect that was downloaded from the internet. I bought them for the movie, and that's done with keyframes. So you animate the electrical beam frame by frame. You do about a third of the frames, and the computer fills in the rest. And I've had a fair bit of good luck on this movie. Some of the costume elements you can see that the kids are wearing, I found during the last school holidays when I was in Parramatta. And I walked into the shop, and there was this place selling hippie paraphernalia, like the glasses and the medallion that the character Cheryl is wearing, and some of the flags I got through the internet. So there's a lot of hippie stuff out there, surprisingly, and also had a lot of cooperation from other staff members. For example, the slug costumes were designed by one of the students, but made by one of the teachers, a woman named Rebecca. And she put them together. They took a real beating, the old slug costumes, and it was just as well that the slugs all died at the end, because there's not much left of the costumes. They're quite badly battered. And now we're going to cut to the hippie hall scene. Now there's a lot missing from this version. We've got an extended version, which you can see on the DVD if you click on the extended version. This is the first of our blue screen shots. The hippies are shot against a big board painted blue and keyed out on the computer, and we superimposed this map. It's my favourite shot of the whole movie. It looks perfectly real. It looks totally like an airport, and it's not. It's a cartoon virtually. It's a little model, only about as big as my hand, and the airport was a school hall. Like, just cut the door out and stuck it on a photo of a real airport that I got. But it looks great. It's really very convincing. You can see some of the flags and the mist, the hippie mist, done with the smoke machine, pumping a lot of smoke into that hippie hall. But I just like that streaky effect of the sun rays coming through. It's the guru. In his first scene, the guru doesn't speak until the end, which is really good. It was really good to see that person not speaking a lot in the movie. Made things go really well. That character there's wearing a wig, in case you can't tell. Of course you can. Lots of wigs. Very easy to come by wigs. Again, a lot of luck. The hippie hall is a cabana type thing that we have at school anyway, and on the cabana, around the cabana and on the ceiling is some fence stuff that they were selling in Golo for $20 a roll. And it was great. I mean, let's just get this stuff, stick it on the thing that we already had, and bang, we've got an instant hippie hall. It was really good. And we've got some rugs that were brought in. They used to be in my house, those rugs, but the cat was weighing on them and things like that, so I got rid of them. But I had them cleaned so that we could use it in our movie. And one of the girls brought in a rug too. And here's Mitchell, who you might remember from some other films that we've done, and he's replacing one of the characters who left. The Slug Challenge now with the Slugmobile. The Slugmobile was built by a boy in another class as part of a project that they did earlier this year. They were doing alien transport, so he built this rocket, and it just had a great shape. And I took it and I just covered it with fiberglass to give it a bit of strength and to give it a bit of texture to make it look slug-like. And did the special effects entirely with the vehicle that he'd built, and using the computer to give it the sort of heat waves and things like that. Another stroke of luck was we got this stadium. It's Campbelltown Sports Stadium, and there was one day of the year that it wasn't booked out, and it just happened to be that right at the time when we needed it. And so we went out there and we spent the day filming. And another stroke of luck, it was slightly cloudy that day, which was good, because later the hippie van crashes into the mud, and of course it wouldn't have made any sense at all if it was a sunny day. So we were very fortunate. Here's the bikies. They're making a brief appearance in this version, but they have a much longer scene in the extended version, so I hope you have a look at that. This is what the bikies have done. They've souped up the Hippie-mobile, and you might recognise the rocket engines there as being asthma sprays. I have a philosophy at my place: never throw anything away, because you never know when it could come in useful. And you've got the KWN logo there. That's our blue screen, but we didn't do any effects with that apart from putting KWN on it, because they're the ones who are really providing a lot of the equipment and funding for the movie here. The van was the gym lady. Every Friday we have gym at school, and she comes in a van, and we wanted a van, and it was there, so we filmed in the van. And we just put the Hippie-mobile around it to make it look like it was the Volkswagen. Most of the transport effects, most of the racing effects are done using essentially cutouts which are animated in the computer. So these are photographed against our blue screen. I key the blue out on the computer, or I use a Photoshop mat and put that against a shot of... I just got my friend to drive me along. I just filmed out the window some passing trees and put that as the back layer, and then put the slugmobile in the next layer and the Hippie-mobile in front, and put some bits of glowing stuff on. So it looks sort of cartoony, but you get the idea. And short of having the kids actually go out and drive around, which would have been very bad for my career, this is the best way to do it. And I just think the transparency of that of the window, because there's no real window there, it's empty. But just laying that transparency over, which is just the road, made, I think it's 30% transparent or something. Just looks like gives that effect of emotion. This is almost entirely animation. That little gun thing, I just drew that and put that in as a layer, and the lightning bolts here. And again, I just took the whole frame, rotated it. There's a bridge that the kids built. They spent the whole morning building the bridge, and they did a really good job. And then by the end of the day, we destroyed it. But it was all worthwhile in the end. It was a reasonably good special effect. We had a lot of luck with the smoke. It just billowed over the bridge when we were filming it, so it was a very convincing looking explosion, I think. And the slugmobile just taking off into the sky. And the expression on this person's face is just good. Yep, they are perfect. And then bang, down it goes. He just, that eyebrow going up really sells the moment. It's like the coyote when he's after the roadrunner and he's running out and he's run off the cliff and suddenly realises he's not on the cliff anymore, and it just has an expression. Good sound effect with the car door there, giving that extra bone crunching noise. And the flying, the person in the overalls in this shot is not the same person who flew in the overalls in the special effects blue screen shot, because that boy was away that day. But we had a very similar looking boy dress up, and really you can't tell, and it's only on the screen for a few seconds. Very, very convincing. What a good group of students this was. Really very cooperative, taking on all the different roles of clapper, continuity, costume coordination, script supervision, camera work. This is my camera work because the cameraman's in the shot, but most of the rest of the shots are not my camera work. They're the cameraman from amongst the students. And here comes our most elaborate blue screen stuff with the guru coming in on the flying carpet. He was originally going to come in on a helicopter, but things went wrong with our helicopter situation, so we just stuck him on the rug in front of the blue screen and animated the sky behind him. And this salt sprinkling down is again completely generated by the computer. No salt. They can't say you put salt all over our track. We used no actual salt, and no slugs were harmed in making the movie. That was a suggestion from one of the kids. We'll put that on the long version. And that's the end, and I hope you have enjoyed this movie, and I've certainly enjoyed making it, and I'm very pleased and proud with the result.